Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of I have too many projects running, and I have no idea what to do with my hands. So we're going to tackle them one at a time, or at least attempt to do so. And hopefully we'll be able to actually do something productive this episode instead of me wandering about like madman with my hands in the air, shall we? At least that's the intent. So, on my mind, this is going to take the lower priority. This is a industrial district that doesn't need to be stood up quite yet, so we're going to continue to allow this to be the lower priority list. If some of our beavers are able to actually get over there and effectuate anything on that end, then sweet. We'll call that a dub. They can continue to put those pieces in as time allows them to do so. The primary goal is to get over here and get our power system set up. So I want to get a little bit more of this established, but I also want to clear this out a little bit, make this a bit more of a flat piece of real estate for us to work on, and then start putting in all of our windmills back here. And all of those windmills will connect into this system, and then I would like to run this system maybe underground over here. So I also want to flatten this out, put in some more windmills on this end, so this will be a nice flat piece of real estate. And we're going to try to stack all of our windmills on top of the power shaft, so we're not necessarily having to be too concerned with where they're at least that's the going in argument. At least that's what my brain is trying to do. We'll see whether or not that actually comes to fruition and whether or not I have enough material to actually get that done. So that's step or project 1 that I want to work on. Project 2 is I want to do some connections between some of our areas through some tunnels as opposed to going up and around, and that should save us a little bit of time. It's straight lines is a little bit better than making a bunch of these triangles, right? Theoretically, that's how that's supposed to work, so that we could save a little bit of our beavers' flight time, if you will, on our zip lines, and then they can get to work a little bit easier and get all that done. And I also need to remember that I have all of these popped up and ready for me to actually harvest, but I can't really do anything with all that because our storage is full. So we need to fix that as well. And where that storage is going to go, I don't know yet. We do have a big storage area up here that we could actually take advantage of, but I don't know if I want to store a bunch of our logs up here. We do have a little bit of industrial storage over here, which isn't a bad place for it to be, but there's not really any place for us to put any of these large storages or underground storages for anything. So maybe we'll come in here, rip this out, put in some underground storage in that area. I haven't decided yet, but that's another one of the things that's on the list of things to accomplish today. And how many times can I say things in about 6 to 9 seconds? I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this game rocking and rolling. We are in the middle of a temperate cycle, or at the tail end of a temperate cycle, because I'm sure we're about to get our notification. Everything's about to kick off, and that's going to be interesting. So, let's go ahead. First things first. Let's clear a little bit of our path for us up here. That means clearing out some of this for us. And that will let us get into here, run our pathing back into here, and I need to measure this out. So I want this all to be on this level right here. So these are all triples, doubles, singles. That should be relatively simple. We've got dynamite over here ready to rock and roll, so that shouldn't be an issue. I do need to figure out why this is not supplying the other side. It probably has something to do with the fact that we have 11 positions going unfilled, and I bet you 11 of them are our hauling posts. Well, there's 20 haulers right there doing hauling things. I'm not entirely sure they're at. Oh, there's our other hauling post. It's entirely empty except for Unhollowed Hero that just popped in. So shout out to you, Unhollowed Hero, coming in clutch and saving the day. Maybe this becomes a priority so we can get dynamite moving a little bit faster, because that will be a requirement going forward. All right, so you are in Keggernator. You are doing Keggernator things. Go ahead and get that set for priority, and then with that being accomplished. We have now a route to get back in here. Let's go ahead and throw in some stairs. Let our builders get up here and do builder things. And then right here, we could start clearing up some of this mess, which means we can mark all this for choppage, like such as. And on this end, we can probably get somebody to come in around on this side and clear up a little bit more of our lumber back in here. Now, I am going to have to give them a place to put all of this lumber. Otherwise, it's just going to sit in their baskets or their flags, their gathering flags, which means they're not going to actually do anything because duh. And let's see, do we build some stairs for this guy to get those last few? Sure, why not? We'll do that. Let's go ahead and figure out a quick place to put in some more storage real quick. That sounds like a valid place for lumber right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Great, that's in. I don't know why it still says that you don't have anything to do within range. You do. All right, that should go in relatively quickly as soon as they start working the next morning, so that should not be a problem for us. And now we get to probably throw in a couple more of these lumberjack flags just because I'd like this cleaned up faster. Sooner rather than later, if you will. And we'll go ahead and, I don't know, put one guy right here. And then we'll go ahead and just go around like this. And we'll have to wait for that little tree to get out of the way. And then we can do this, and that gets connected, and then everybody's ready to rock and roll. Can you guys reach all of the top? You can. You can reach all of this backside, allegedly. You can reach a portion of that. Do we have that last log covered? We do. All right, cool. So that is all going in. That is good to see. We can pause you because you've already done everything that you need to do for us. We'll let them come and pick up all those logs. And now we could start thinking about placing in some dynamite and maybe throwing in this path back in here and throwing in one more lumberjack flag to help clean up this side a little bit quicker. Though they are getting this done relatively quickly, so I will call that a dub. Let them also come out and clear the rest of those logs from that area, and that'll be good. The haulers are doing hauling things, which is fantastic. That's good. This is already in, so that is also amazing. Now, that doesn't really help us out in the long run because we do have all of this on the opposite side of the world, and we also have all of this on the opposite side of the world. And again, I haven't turned these guys back on, and I probably need to put in an additional couple of lumberjack flags because I don't think 2 of these are going to be able to keep up with the demand for all that. So that's going to be a concern for us. All right. Now, they've got some of this cleared out in here, so that is good to see. And I kind of like to pause the game real quick, and I want to look at something. So I want to do a little measurement here. So that is... So a 3x, about right. Let's go in here. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and go up like that. And then we come into here. Let's pull this down. We grab this bad Johnny right here, and then we rip this straight through. Like that. On top of that, I would also like to run this over to there, or maybe even one more over. We'll see, and then probably do the same thing on this end. I have an idea. We'll see if this works or not. The trees here is going to be an issue, so we may have to go one higher to avoid clipping into the trees. It doesn't like us doing that. Yeah, let's do one higher. Let's go one higher. So that means coming in, ripping this out, getting that out of there. Go ahead and rip all this out, like such as, and then we'll go 3 high instead of 2 high. And then put our stairs back in. Go up one more. Like such as bring in this bad Johnny. Cut across like that. Rip out the unnecessary that I put in. That'll be good. Maybe we're going to have to take that out too. No, it won't let me do that. Why won't you let me do that? Why won't you let me do that? Because you're a support structure for something? Can I do this and this? No, I cannot. Okay, Okay, maybe we come in from the other side. I'm just concerned about clipping, and I wish I could actually check this out before they start blasting stuff out. But it will not allow us to do so, and it's going to do the same thing on that end. So that should not be an issue with this being over here. I think they're 3 wide. Go ahead and grab this and put this down. Yeah, it's 3 wide. So theoretically, what I'm trying to do, get this to go through this gap right here. And have the little overhang dilly bob being right here. It connects right here. And then runs straight through this tunnel. And then probably have some sort of connection point in here. Or we'll have the connection point here. And that should punch out. And we should be able to put another... what are they called? Zipline pylon right here-ish, and that'll connect to that bad Johnny. At least that's my going in thought process. We'll see whether or not that works. But they've got that to work on for a little bit, and we'll let them go ahead and rock and roll with all that. We've got a little bit more of this cleared out. You are done. You're bored, so let's pause you so you can get back to doing some hauling stuff for us. You've probably got, what, 5 more of those to work on. Haulers have already started to come out and clear this out. We'll go ahead and start clearing this stuff out. We'll pause you because you're bored. You're already empty. You are empty. You are also empty. Explosives are slowly filling their way in over here. You are bored, so you are paused. You go do something else with your life. Don't know why I paused you then when there are... Oh, because I didn't tell you guys to eat these up. Okay. That's in. They'll work on that for a little bit. And let's go ahead and start working on some of our explosives here. Oh my. That got full. Like super full. Okay. So that one thing that I was talking about 2 episodes or 3 episodes ago about this thing probably never filling up. Well, I was wrong. Okay. I was very wrong. We had a relatively short temper cycle followed by a relatively short drought and or bad tide that followed up by a pretty much max temper cycle. And well, that's what you get. You get a huge reservoir, nice and filled up, which is actually pretty freaking fantastic. I am thoroughly impressed by that. All right. Something for these guys to work on over here real quick. Let's go ahead and put in... What do we have over here? Spatter dock. You guys can keep working on more of that spatter dock for us. Great. Don't know if there's a way for me to actually test to see if these guys are actually being affected by our beehives. It looks like they popped up faster than the other ones, but that kind of makes sense. But these were also placed first because this is where that gap was that we had originally. So I don't know how well that is I know how to English. I don't know if that's an actually true statement to say that that worked as advertised. Anyway, I digress yet again. Let's go ahead and start working on blasting this down, shall we? So that's triples all the way across here. Need to get rid of you. Need to get rid of you. Somehow I missed that one. And then we'll go ahead and give this a max priority just so that they can knock that out. We'll give this a medium low priority. Do that all the way across the top here. Just so it catches everything. We don't have to work our way through random things. And one thing that we can do is toss on our gravity batteries up top there, since we are doing moderately decent on some of the other things. All right. We don't need to do anything for the transition into the drought. Everything should be solid. We probably save a beaver or 3 by pausing a couple of these positions, because we're doing pretty solid on water. I don't want to pause both of them though, so we'll save 3 beavers to get them in doing something else. Probably pause the observatory because, well, we've got 44,000 science going right now. If we don't need much else for that. Let us see where else we can get things moving. I do want to give these guys some temporary power for right now, since this is where a majority of our metal blocks are coming from, other than that one right there. And I would love to expand this and actually allow for more power production. So, that being the case, let's go ahead and get these guys in here to rip out the remainder of these logs that I don't know why I said remainder. Get them in here to rip out these logs for us, which means we'll have some real estate for us to put in some power here. Maybe move this over to this side, and then we could put in a few more of our smelters, and we could put in like a quick gravity battery back in here just to keep those running during lulls in the wind, doing wind things. Okay, this is going in really slowly. They did get that ripped out right there, so that is good to see. I would like to also, all right, grab this path. The path comes along back this way. Of course, we can't do that. So you go like that. You go like this. And we'll just path this all the way around this backside. Don't know how far over I really care to go on this, but I think that's good enough. I'm gonna try. Oh, hold up. So that is 3 high, isn't it? Yeah, so this might be a problem. Do we do triples or we do just doubles and bring everything else up? Or maybe we just leave this wall here so that we can save this water back in here as things progress. Maybe that's what we do. I think that's fine. Yeah, we'll leave this outer edge alone, since that is where we're going to be saving some of our water back in here. We might rip this out right there, since that is just an overhang that's not really providing us with anything. But I digress. Let's go ahead and start working this in. So we want to keep that. We want to keep that. We want to rip this out. Probably rip that out. Go ahead and rip this out. That doesn't need to be there. Kind of want to save that one as well. I really, really need to be very careful. I am very gun shy. After recording my latest episode of the Ember Pelts, I accidentally broke something or tore something apart that I should not have, and it made me very, very, very not happy. So I'm trying to avoid that on this play. So if I'm being a little bit stingy or a little bit slow on my destruction, then that's probably why. Okay, so don't be too concerned. I'm still gonna we're gonna rip and roar all across the land, if you will. All right, feel like this is good enough for horseshoes and hand grenades for what we need. Probably need to bring this path over here though, so that we can get all of this back in on this end Don't think we need to go out this far, like I said. So to get that out of there, bada bing, bada boom. And I don't want to actually get back in here too far either, because I kind of would like to have something to work with. And that'll be good. Those do not need to be there. Those worthless for us. That probably should stay there. All right, cool. That's all slowly going in. It's going to take him a couple more days. I just now realized how long of a drought we have ahead of us, though. Holy Toledo. Holy mother of pearl. That's going to be a lot of drought time. Theoretically, this should be enough to meet the demand. Maybe we'll pause this so that we can keep this irrigated, hydrated. We don't really need to, because if push comes to shove, we just unpause this fluid dump and they're able to do all the things that they need to do and keep that alive. That is an option for us. Or we just see what happens. We'll do it live. I don't anticipate being in a bad situation, though, so we're just going to let that keep going, because we have so much water in here. We are pulling from that reservoir through this water pump down here. So we have access for water for our beavers, and through our beavers we have the capacity to actually keep all of our stuff elsewhere hydrated. So that should not cause any issues for us. Sweet. Let's see how this is coming along. It is coming along. Wow. They've stopped because they can't reach that far. So let's get them back in here. And let's see about this. Now, I don't know if this will work or not. I hope it does. It does not. Do I need to go one higher? Probably because I need to go one higher. Okay, it won't let me place that there. Why won't you let me place that there? Do you need to be on a platform and then I can place that there? Yes. Okay. Oh, that explains it. Okay, now I get it. I think I get what the problem was with the other. Okay, because it doesn't have a platform to actually sit on top of, then we can't place that. So that's good to know. So that should help us with that clipping issue that we're potentially going to have right there. And then let us connect this through there without any consternation. Theoretically, anyway. So they've got something to work on in that for a little bit. That'll be our tunnel pathway for our zip lines that's going to run through it. And of course, these guys are going to be rocking and rolling over here, getting all the explosives laid for all of this. Now, all of this up top looks to be already in, but I can't blow it up because they're going up here to place all of this dynamite in down here, which is a way to do things. I'm not going to chastise them because they're actually getting things accomplished. I do see that I have 8 adult beavers running around with nothing to do with their hands. So that means that we're going to put in a couple more builders' huts somewhere in here to help with all of the things. Probably right here and right here. We'll give this a priority bump so that they get over here and just knock that out for us real quick so that we can get things done. How am I out of chestnuts? Oh, we're not out of cooked chestnuts or grilled chestnuts. We're just out of base chestnuts. Interesting. Very interesting. We're also not doing the hottest on maple. Let's see if we can help you out and get haulers to move over here and come get all of the juice from you. These guys are already open. And yeah, everything else is full. I think... Oh, we've got 3 more guys over here with nothing to do with range. Well, let's get them working on all of this, I guess. You guys can continue clearing all of that out. We can pause you two. because there's nothing for you to do right now, we can go ahead and just rip all of this out and then put in our underground pile on this side, maybe? We'll do the same over here. Maybe pull this over one more. Just so that we can fit a third in right here. So let's get rid of that. Put that back in right here. And then we put in another underground storage pile right there. This can go right here. And you can be, I guess, scrap. And you can be logs. You can be... I don't know. Maybe we'll do dirt up here, or we can just do more metal blocks. Yeah, we need metal blocks over here since they're processing it, and that means that we can rip this out. Let's give this a minor priority bump, and then do the same for this one. So we can clear these out, get a couple more smelters in right there. These guys are still working on all of that, so that is good to see. I probably would like to... Can this reach that? I don't think it can, and because it's faced in that odd direction, we can't really do anything about that. So I know that we're going to run into an issue with our large windmills in this area, right? Can't place them because the thing right there, the thing on the thing, but that's okay. We can do something along these lines over here. Like so. We should... Okay, we can't place that there, but we can place that there, place that there. And I'll just... That should be more than enough to meet the demand for what we have going on here. And I've already not done that one thing that I said that I was going to do, which was connect these things all underground, but it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. Okay, that is obnoxious that it keeps doing that. All right, that'll get connected. We'll run that under here somehow, some way. Probably just run that over and down here, which is relatively simple. That just goes like that. That gets connected in right there. Sweet. Can I put one of these small ones in right here? Would a small one fit? No. Okay. Let's see. You have a few more to work on. You have a few more to work on. So you, my good friend Robbie T Music, you are fired. You get emptied. You get emptied. That should go right into there. And then we could probably give these 2 or 3 a priority bump, as well as hit this button right here. And let that all get connected and done. And that should be relatively quick. Now we are waiting on a little bit of dynamite to finish the rest of this, while all of that is going on the other side. That being said, we can rip this out. We can put in our double right here. And we are just waiting on all of the beavers to come over here and put the rest of this in, which should be relatively simple. Why are we hurting so bad on explosives? Productivity's fine. They should be able to meet the demand. Interesting, interesting. I did tell them to come over to build these, which are relatively high cost builds. 20 logs, 40 planks, 20 gears. Those are heavy, and it takes a while to maneuver all those over, and I did kind of give them this objective as well. So that kind of explains why that's come to a standstill, but that's okay. These are empty, though, so we can actually rip these out and slowly start getting the rest of these smelters in, since we do have the real estate available to us right now. Now, these couple of windmills, I don't believe we'll be able to actually meet the demand, the power demand for all this, but it is a good starting point, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. Now, one thing that we could do is something like this. Okay, maybe not that. Maybe something like this. Maybe? I don't know. Probably not. Is that ridiculous? Is that strange? Maybe. I like ridiculous and strange though. Why not? And then we put in one gravity battery right here. Okay, that won't fit because duh. Which is fine. Okay, so maybe don't do that. Maybe we have that come out over here and do something like that. So let's do that then. So that goes out right there. I probably won't be able to do this over here either, honestly. So let's just check. We can. Okay, so we can do that. That just means we need to make sure that we have access to that back in there. That means doing something like this. Why do you keep doing this to me, game? It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, that goes up like that. They are actually putting that in nicely, so that means that this is probably done over here, and it looks to me as if it is. Making sure that there aren't any random staircases floating around that have precluded us from being able to place all of our dynamite, which it hasn't, but we did miss a little bit of a portion right here. Let's get that knocked out. That means that we need to give this a priority bump because there are a couple other jobs that are happening on the other end that have prevented us from continuing this. Let's rip this down and see why they have not finished that little portion. Probably because they can't reach, but that means that we can get that in right there. That should be simple enough for them to do that. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's fine. Let's see here. Those all did go in. Great. Let's get a little explosive action going in. I love me a good explosion in the evening. It makes the heart happy. Okay, that I did not realize that we had that going on there. All right. Cool. I should have looked at that a little bit more, but apparently I did not. That is fine. That is fine. We will just have to put up some sort of levee. Well, yeah, it'll be a levee. Yeah. We'll put up a levee in here. That'll be easy. Maybe we'll just make this entire line a bunch of levees just because it'll make it a little bit more... I don't know. Words. It'll fit a little bit better, maybe. Or we could do dirt. I'm totally down with doing dirt. We haven't unlocked dirt yet, but I'm always excited about unlocking dirt. We're gonna get that in so that these guys can do stuff. That is... You guys are moving, but there ain't no juice for you guys to be moving with. Nerds. Okay. I did not check to see if this would actually go right here. It does. Good. That means that we can place this here and then place that there without too much consternation. And that should, in turn, mean that we can just connect that up like that and then connect that up like that. I don't know how that's not clipping into that, but if the game lets me put it there, then the game lets me put it there. So I will call that a win. Cool. That's a few positions for our beavers to go ahead and do some additional things. That will also continue to speed up our metal processing, which is pretty good. Scrap metal is doing pretty solid overall because we do have these guys down here doing scrap metal things. Bad water is doing really, really good because we've got our bad water rig pumping and running, which is very good to see. Let's go ahead and rip these out just because they're an eyesore. They're unnecessary. And I want to see what priority I gave this and why they haven't I know why they haven't been touching it, because I've been giving them so many other things to work on. We do have a bunch of injured beavers, but I should have enough position or beds for them to not continue being a problem for all of our guys. You can probably empty this out, clear that out, and get some more foodstuffs in here, just so that these guys are a bit more easily entertained and fed, and maybe, I don't know, a couple beds over here. I haven't decided yet. And, okay. Dirt. Where do we want to play with dirt? Dirt, 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 dirt. Do I care to play with dirt? Is dirt necessary? Don't think dirt is necessary, honestly. No, I do not believe that dirt is necessary. So yeah, we'll just feed stuff around and get that all situated one way or another. But let's go ahead and start one of two things. First off, let's get this prioritized by haulers so they can bring some of that material over here. And that should be all of the material required for our gravity batteries up here. Is just gears, planks, and metal blocks, which we have a fair amount of all of those. So we could put in the 7 right here. That can give them something to work on for a little bit. Let's go ahead and start working on this. I don't... Is it because the path is right there? Is that why you can't go right there? Okay, cool. So let's put this in like this. We could do explosives and recess all of those power lines. I kind of want to do. But I don't have that many explosives to do anything like that, but I really want to recess this. So let's do that anyway. So that's 10, 20, so that's 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure that's the place right there where that can go, and that goes like that. Let's go ahead and rip that down like such as 1, 2, and then 3. And we'll pull out another one of our windmills just to make sure I'm not. So it's 1, 2, 3. That's 4, right? So if we do something along these lines, 1, 2, right? Theoretically, if I put 2 in right here, I should be able to put this windmill right here without any issue. All right, sweet. That is a true statement. So we can rip that out. Then we can come in here and keep working this over 1, 2, and then this line comes down like this. And then this line comes down like this. And we'll let them come across here. We will have a bit of an issue when it comes to these intersections. We could... No, I think that'd be a waste of material. That would be an epic waste of material to do what I was just thinking about. So we're not going to do that. I'm not even going to voice what that is. Sweet. That'll be the recess. That'll be a good starting point. We'll come back through and we'll place in a bunch of our vertical power shafts, which also can hold buildings on top of them, which means that we can just put our large windmills on top. And in order to save some material, we'll fill the rest in with power shafts. And then on top of that, we can come back in and around and do some other stuff. Now, I also want to get down into here. Which means we need to probably work our way downtown. Like this, maybe? So we'll go single, double, triple. And then we'll do triples for a little bit. I don't know how deep we need to go, but I feel like triples all the way across is going to be a good starting point. And we'll go ahead and hit this button just to give those a little bit of a priority bump so that we can start working our way down there. We're going to have to build a bunch of stairs to crawl into that mess down there. And I want to come check on all of this. It looks to me as if this is in. And now we can actually check to see if this worked as advertised. So let's go ahead, rip that out right there. Go ahead and put this in right here. Is it because you're clipping on top? Let me give me that back. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's fix that maybe by doing this. This is excessive and unnecessary. Why are you doing it like that? Okay, game, please don't be ridiculous. It would be appreciated. Okay, you guys come knock that out. This does not need to be in there. Those two do, though, so that'll be something for them to work on a little bit. Maybe what we do on this end is just have that pylon right there. And so that means that we just drop this with a triple dynamite, and that should just allow that to cover and not hit any of the trees here. Anyway, so yeah, that might be the best course of action. I'm not entirely sure, but it's something for me to think about. Okay, I need to stop doing that. Cool, they can't reach that probably because it's too far. That means pathing this over here so they can reach that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Theoretically, that should be simple for them to do. That should still have the priority on it too. And we can't blow this up because it's attached to that, so we have to wait until these guys are cleared, which they are, which means we can do that. Sweet. Now, let's bring this out. Hit that button right there. Hit these corners. And then do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All of this down a little bit. Like such as. And get a few more of these windmills in, shall we? That is somehow inadvertently perfect. I don't know how I accidentally did that, but I will take the dub there. Well, I can. Okay. Don't take this happiness away from me, all right? Okay? It's a small things in life that I can actually take some happiness from, and this is one of them where I accidentally did something correct for once, which means I can do something like that. And it all gets connected for free education connection. And all of that goes in like that, and then I can... Oh, they're crawling across on top of the vertical power shafts. Nice. That probably means that we can just run across like that, except for that they can't run across like that. So let's grab this, grab that. There. Now they should be able to reach everything without too much consternation. Theoretically, that should be how that works. Cool story, Brosif. We'll let them work on that, and I want to come over here and investigate how this is coming along. Cool. That's in. That's exploded. That means that we should be able to come in here and place this in here. I saw you go in for like half a second. There we go. Hopefully that works. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I don't know. Maybe this is all just a pipe dream, honestly, at this point. Yeah, because you're not letting me do the things here. Alright, we'll try one more thing. We'll see if it works. Hopefully. I don't know if it will work. If it doesn't work, then boo. We'll just put in one of the pylons right here and just run it through there, and then that shouldn't be an issue, allegedly. Maybe we'll pause this until we can confirm that we can actually fit that in there without it being an issue. Maybe that's the smart thing to do. Who knows? Okay, so that is in though. So that means that we can start crawling our way down here, which means that we can do our single, our double, and our triple in here. And let's pause the game and rip our slices down a little bit, just because I want to see. All right, so we are hitting that. So that's as far as we need to go. We don't need to go any further. So that probably means we should fill that in, because that's going to be a problem for us in the future. Potentially a problem. It theoretically should not be a problem, but I would like it to not look like that. So we'll come back in and we'll fill this in with dirt in the future at some point. All right, cool. We're missing 16 haulers floating around somewhere doing hauling things, which is fine. They've already completed another one of these gravity batteries, which still hasn't fed into any of our stuff yet, which is fine. It's not fine. I don't like that, but we are making progress towards that endeavor. By getting down here, we are able to... Oh, I'm surprised it didn't blast that out. We can, in turn, clear this out, which means we can tunnel underneath here, because this should never have bad water in it again. And this will all just fill up. We'll probably put some sort of levee system right here just to catch all the water, the good water, back in this area anyway. Though I should have an overflow. I don't know. I don't know. I have not decided yet. Okay, sweet. I should put in some sort of platforms so these guys can actually get across and continue to do the job that I want them to do, instead of being reliant on the paths that are on top of the things that I need to be building on. No. Okay, let's rip that out, and we'll rip that out, and we'll rip this out. Rip that out as well. Give this a minor priority bump. Come over here, check on this. Hit that button. Grab this button. That around. Pause the game. Let's see if this works. No, you do not. You just don't want to go anywhere. Why don't you want to go anywhere? Why are you not happy? Why are you not happy? Hmm? Don't get it. Don't get it. What's the deal? Of course, I can't even see the placement on this side, so that stinks. Okay, well. Boo. That's cool story, bro. We'll have to clean some of that up, I guess, in the future. Let's kind of want to... Well, we can just rip this one out. There should be nobody stuck up there in the first place. So if we just grab this bad Johnny right there, we disconnect that pylon. What are you going to? You go there. Disconnect that. Disconnect that. And we add a connection to there. Line obstructed by the stairs there. That's fine. Okay. And that can go into here. Line obstructed. Is it because of the path? Okay, let's go ahead and do something about that. Shouldn't be a problem for us because all of this has been taken care of. Let's get that path out of here. See if we can add that connection now. Line is still obstructed. Okay. Let's grab the rest of these and rip that out. And then we can see if this connects now. Line is still obstructed. Oh. Yeah, okay. Well, duh. Let's rectify that. So that goes like this then. And now we put that in right here. Now they're on the same level. Now they should not be line obstructed. And now it just runs right through there like a bad Johnny. And then this goes to that, but the line is obstructed on this end. Darn you, zip lines and your obstructions. Oh gosh. Come back. Guess we gotta move that over here, maybe. We don't even technically need this one anymore, theoretically, maybe, potentially. Because all of this is just going to be taken care of by this guy. Maybe we get rid of a little bit of this wheat right here. So we tell them to rip this out right here. We put in another forester on this end. You can not reach that to fill that little gapper doodle in right there, but that's okay. That's all right. We do have beavers that are going to get stranded, though, so let's fix that by removing that, adding connection to here, adding this connection to that, so everybody's reconnected, so nobody gets stuck. That means that, shoot. And you can't even reach back there, can you? Give this a max priority. Boop. Can fit in another tapper shack on this end, though. Now that area is cleared out. Now we can put in another forester on this end. Of course, that doesn't reach that area back there, so that's cool. Go ahead and unpause these two so that they can start clearing this out. Let's go ahead and get this marked for cutting, like such as. That'll be something for them to do. And once they get these back ones cleared out right here, then we can put another forester in here. And that'll be totally fine. Cool. How is this coming along on this end? They've already got stairs down. That is fantastic. Now we just need to rip that out. And now we need to get stairs down into there. Like this. And like that. And then we need to connect that like that. That means that they should be able to work their way through here. And we can clear out the rest of this bed. The rest of this. And we just barely missed that line right there. You know, it's almost as if I planned this out or something. It's almost as if I planned this out. I didn't. Okay, I'll tell you, I can't lie to you guys. It was just pure dumb luck. All right, pure dumb luck. But things are moving along, so that's good to know. We have 7 injuries, 2 hauling posts that are empty and getting progressively worse. Probably time to expand our beaver population a little bit, but I also want to look at our material shopping list and see how that's coming along. And whether or not we can start thinking about tossing in bots. I don't think our metal production line is robust enough for bots. But let's check on this over here. That's all connected. But that's not connected to anything else. So you guys are basically working at the worst kind of productivity. Because I did not connect all of the things. So let's go ahead and get that connected real quick. like that. And then we come in here, we disconnect that portion right there, and then we just do that. Bada bing, bada boom. That should take but 10 seconds for them to come over and knock out, because there's plenty of logs right there for them to grab and do things with. Meaning things get accomplished quickly, allegedly. Now that is 2,600 times 3. It's a fair amount of juice to run our smelters throughout the day. And these by themselves produce 93 in a very slow rate when the wind's not at its peak performance. That seems like a decent enough amount of juice. So that should be good. They just need to connect this to the one last log. Smack that once. That means power's connected. That means this is going to be burning juice while these guys continue to work. And we can probably unpause these guys. All right. That means scrap metal should be turning into metal blocks regularly. At least for now. Hopefully the wind keeps going and is productive and helpful in all of this. Sweet. That is all in. Now we can start thinking about placing all of this in like this. Oops. How did I miss one? Okay. That's simple. That's rectified. This is a lot of... That's a lot of windmills. Maybe we blast it down a little bit more and just cover it up. I don't know. Maybe that's excessive. It kind of defeats the purpose of having a windmill. If it's underground, it's kind of hard to have wind underground. Theoretically, at least. I don't know. I'm not a beaver scientist, okay? I just go here and somehow things work. Cool. That means that they should be able to reach all that, and that. They are down here blasting this out, so that's good to see, and we can go ahead and give them a little bit more path work to continue working their way back in there. And now we can actually come over here and check on this. Did I not unpause this? I did not. Can they reach that? That's the better question. Can I click it? They can somewhere, somehow. That's connected. How is there a... You know what? I'm not going to ask questions. Okay. Can I pause this? No. We're gonna have to wait until nightfall for them to not be riding on that thing. We need one more plank. Come on, guys. It's nightfall now. There's one more plank that you just needed to smack in there. And, oh my goodness. This is why we can't have nice things, guys. This is why we can't have nice things. Sweet. That's going in. Now I would like to somehow find a way to run power over here. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. Maybe just... I don't know. I don't know. If I disconnect this, they should be able to make it somewhere. They fell. But that's okay. Delete, delete. Now we go add pylon to there. We go add pylon to there. Now you're connected. Now we've got tunnels with zip lines through them. Heck yeah. I promised y'all I'd get this done. Okay, I promised y'all it would happen. Oh. There you go. And you've got a tunnel with the... Oh, that was a beaver's butt. Oh, gosh. They're beavers with butts in... Okay, all right. Anyway. Zipline tunnels. Done. Okay, you thought you were cool with your little tube ways there, Iron Teeth? Well, I've got zipline tunnels, okay? That's a rush. That's a rush if I ever did seed one. Okay, alright. Okay, cool. That is working out. That is going. This is making actually fairly decent progress. We've got so many of our builders running all this around. That is good to see. This is going to be able to go in like that. We should be able to actually blast this out. So let's give this a priority and fill that in with our sluice gates. Get that knocked out so we don't have to be too concerned about racing against time in the future. So they will get a little bit wet, but that is fine. Theoretically, they should not get sick from that. Okay, you guys don't need to go in there to do that, but alright. There you go. And we're going to unclick that. We're going to close below contamination of 1%, and that should connect to the other side. Right. Close below contamination. So when it's below contamination, this is closed, and it goes forward. That means when it's open, well, we could actually get in here and... Do we want to do that? Yeah, we could, actually. Let's do that. So let's, instead of... Is it cheaper? Yeah, I think it's just cheaper to do that. So let's go ahead and we'll fill this in like that. That means putting in a sluice gate right here. And this, we close above contamination of 1%. And that means that that doesn't go anywhere. Let me pull this up to make sure that that's the cap of that. That should be... Yeah. Just overly cautious, you know. I don't want to be bit in the butt by something ridiculous, okay? Why are you guys thirsty? Huh? There's no reason for y'all to be thirsty. If anybody should be thirsty, it's me. I've been yapping for an hour. Alright, bad jokes. Cool. Let's go. This is slowly going in. That's fantastic. This is so much juice already being produced right here in and of itself. That is amazing to see. I am ecstatic by just the sheer numbers that we're being produced, that's already being produced as it stands. I can help them out a little bit though. That's what a smart beaver overlord would do, by providing them a paper storage to assist in all of that. We are eating through our paper pretty harshly, which stinks, and it also doesn't help that I've paused the paper mill. Give this a priority and hit this obtain button. And that will rectify that. I need to prioritize this for obtain. That's already set for priority, and I think I already did set that as a priority to build. So cool. Great. Brilliant. Beautiful. Find the right button. There we go. So go ahead and fill the rest of this in, and I somehow had the magic number blast this a little bit out right there. Brilliant. What's our peak? 62,000 horsepower per hour is going to be produced by each and every one of these gravity batteries. That is going to be a lot of juice. And that should be able to keep all of our systems running, I wouldn't say indefinitely, but for a prolonged period of time when the wind isn't doing the blowing thing, which the wind likes to do sometimes, which is sad. Right, we're going to pause you guys. That hasn't dipped in a hot minute, so I'm not too concerned about all of that. Oh, this might explain why we're running a little bit low on our chestnuts. They're not collecting them. And probably the same thing on this side. No, somebody's collecting these. No. It's working. That's all that matters. Things are getting done. Things are occurring one way or the other. So I will call that a good thing here. Let's go ahead and check on this. Down here, they're making really good progress. That should allow them to finish up this last little bit right here. Then what we can come in and do after all of this is done, and what I should probably go ahead and start doing now, honestly, because I had thought about doing this earlier, is putting this line in like this, and then putting this line in like this, and doing the same back in here. Probably not that one, and probably not that one. Then probably not these. That means that we can put in a little bit of power wheel or water wheels in here so they can do all of the things. I do need to redo this though real fast because I think that drought is about to end and we need that to not be a mess. And also come pick up these metal blocks, please. Pick up the metal blocks. Come on. There's going to be a problem for us. Pick them up. There we go. Now build this. Okay, it's the middle of the night, so you're not going to do anything. That's fine. Okay. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to judge you too harshly. Alright, maybe, potentially. No promises. Okay, no promises. Cool. It's coming along nicely, guys. We're making some big headway. We're making some headway on some major stuff. Okay, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not excited about the fact that we're running out of paper. But this guy, Shamcat, should be able to produce enough paper for all of us. And this down here shouldn't take too much longer, hopefully. Maybe, I don't know. They're making progress, though, so that's all that really matters in the end. And I can't complain about that. I can't complain about the fact that it's taken us a full 30 days worth of a drought to get this accomplished, though. But hey, it's fine. We've got a bunch of our windmills in. We got a few of our gravity batteries in. We're still at just the 7 here, but they are slowly working their way in placing all of the triple platforms. They're placing these all in as they have time, though, as they complete previous tasks. So that's kind of why it's going a little bit slower than potentially anticipated. But that is totally fine. That's totally acceptable, and things are getting done, and that's all that really matters. Allegedly. Cool. One small thing that I would like to knock out real quick, though, is maybe something like do I want that like that? No, I don't. Trying to figure out how I can place something like this. Let's do a single there. Let's do... Can I do a 6er? No. But if I tell them not to, or if I rip this out, I should be able to. Maybe? And that should be enough. I think. Theoretically. Well, do I want that like that? Yes, I do want that like that. Can you guys come knock this out real quick? Take 10 seconds out of your day. Out of your day, that's all you need is 10 seconds. Come on. Come on. We might actually have to rip these out. Honestly, that might be a problem. Which would stink. But I have a plan. It's a plan. I wouldn't say it's a great plan, but it is a plan. Just need them to come clean this up. There's the end of our drought, though. And we still have water in here. So that is good. We also are severely lacking in our beaver population. I was thinking about expanding this a little bit ago, but I never actually committed to it, which is my fault. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's go ahead and max this out. Or not max it out. Yeah, maxed out. We'll put it in a house right here. And it'll give us a little bit more. We're probably going to need more than that, honestly. Maybe rip that out of there. Or did I need to rip that out of there? No, I did not need to rip that out of there. That was, no, not that button. There, and then houses right here. Boosh. Boosh. Maybe this little bit right here. That doesn't need to be right there. Give this a max priority. Give that, and that. Get those knocked out. We'll put in another house in here, and that will give us a little bit more beaver action to do beavery goodness things. Don't know. Okay, they're all in a bed, so that's good. That is fantastic. So things are happening. This is all going in. We have builders running across the world doing builder things in the middle of the night, which means they're probably exhausted, but that's fine. You know, they're doing good things for beaver kind, right? And that's all that really matters in the end. They're doing fantastic and wonderful things for beaver kind. At least that's what I think that is happening. Anyway. All right. Oh, they've been working on this too. Wow, they got a little bit of it in. Heck yeah, let's go. Now, let's see here. Let's let that fill in. This is running, so that means that we're getting a little bit of juice out of this. What is happening here? Supply is 380. Demand. Not there. Well, everything's connected. Okay, so these were passively, or were actively falling. That's interesting. I did not know that it didn't actually tell you that the power is being supplied appropriately by the gravity batteries. I thought that would be totally okay. Productivity's butt over here, though. That's not cool. It's stinky. Stinky productivity on that end. That's okay. We're making progress down here. They are almost done. I want to get this last little bit done. We might be able to get it done before the end of this bad tide. Or this next temper cycle, honestly. So that is cool. Make sure that this is on the right setting. It is. That's good. Want to get in here. We can unpause this. Let's see. Hopefully we don't get a notification here in the next 6 to 9 seconds. If we do, we should be able to Zerg rush. This is not that much in the way of build requirements. Now, they are hungry and thirsty, making the long trek down here, which kind of stinks, but they should be able to do the things. Theoretically. Come on. Come on. There we go. Last few pieces in. Throw those planks in. There you go. Come smack them. Okay, we need more planks. What are we doing on those, actually? Are we out of planks? No way we're out of planks. Huh. There's no way that we're out of planks. Am I blind? Plank storage is there. It's empty. We're out of planks. It doesn't help that we're putting a gajillion into here, so maybe that, yeah, that explains it. Okay, that's in, so we need to quickly rip this out. Yes. Okay, max that priority-wise. Let's go ahead and get this in right here. We can also rip out some of this in here, and that will reclaim some of our planks. Well, that will be beneficial for us. There we go. And let's go ahead and clean up some of this so that we can actually reclaim those planks. Now that's going to pull from our builder's pool to actually accomplish that, but that is fine. We'll click that button, close above contamination of 1%. And that, in theory, should be that height right there. We need to make sure that this is a max priority, and then we can also put in our last sluice gate right here. Give this a max priority, check this, click that, close below contamination of 1%. Yes. That should work. It stinks that we're losing water right now. A little bit. We've got 3 days to rectify that, though. Everything's fine. I just need them to get in here and put this in. Okay, max priority means max priority, guys. Come slap that in for me. There we go. We'll do all the explosives or this lining later when it's not the middle of or a bad tide's not encroaching. That's going to cause a problem for us. We'll let them clean up a little bit more of these planks so that we can actually do the rest of our stuff we've been working on. That'll give them a little bit of material back. Give this a priority as well. And that they should be able to clean that out within the next couple of days, theoretically. And then I don't want to pause all this, but I also want to not allow them access to this down here, because they will come down here and start placing all of these tunnels, and they will crawl through the bad tide in order to do that. So in the middle of the night, we'll have to come in here, probably take this out and get that moving. But I'm happy that this got accomplished. We've got a tunnel to run the bad tide out this backside, and we have a plan established to run some power lines through here, and then we can run the power over here and up, which should be relatively simple to connect into all of our mega systems up there. So that will be good to see happen, and that is good. Paper's kind of on the dwindling side, but that's okay. And I'd say we were kind of productive today. Now, there are some things that I like to clean up, like this, and like this, and like that. Maybe finish the rest of this. And I guess expand our lumber mill production line, because apparently we're out. That's not good. But I digress, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as we put in a bunch of windmills and continue to place a bunch of windmills. It's going to be huge. And we still have a bit more to work on, a bit more to tackle, but, well, we need to fix some of the industry stuff on the back end to get that all done and rectified. But I digress for the umpteenth time today. I hope you guys had a fantastic time enjoying some beavery goodness with me. If you did, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate that as well. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Timberborn Z. I don't know what to do with my hands because I don't know where my brain's going, but it's okay. We're having fun, and that's all that matters. I'm out. See ya!